Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Wow. Wow. Um, finally getting to it. Fate Zero. This was episode 15, or if you're going by season 2, episode 2. Let's get into it. Okay, this one was called Golden Glow. There was so much shit going on. I was like, wow. I mean, you still had the aerial battle between Berserker and Gilgamesh, and at the same time you have this battle between Kalia and Tokiyomi, and then at the same, and while Kiryu, of course, is watching, and at the same time you have the main battle that's going on, which is that monster which has been created by Caster, fighting Rider, Lancer, and Saber. Okay, basically, what went on in this episode was basically that. In the beginning of the episode, we see, Saber's fighting it, and, Rider at one point tells her, get back, we have to fall back because I have an idea, so on and so forth. Meanwhile, we have this fight between Gilgamesh and fucking Berserker. Berserker is non-stop. You know what I want to see? I want somebody at a con or somewhere to dress up like Berserker. That's sick. That black armor and the red, thumbs up for Berserker. He's great. And basically they're trying to stop it, the monster, and there's no yielding. They're not able to stop it. And that's basically what happened in the episode. Eventually what went down was Saber couldn't stop it, and they're not getting any leeway on this. At one point, the monster gets to the bridge, and what happens is Ryder decides, Alexander, Conqueror of Heroes, decides to use his phantasm against it. And that's when everyone was like, oh, okay. So he's going to go out and use his phantasm to take it out. Well, not take it out, just give them time. See, that was the whole point. And while that was going on, Tokiyomi's fighting Kalia, and he does this spell on Kalia, burns him, just fucking torches him, and then he basically falls over. While this is going on, Kirlei's watching him. Betrayal, on the horizon. Kalia will betray him. That's on the horizon. But anyway, moving on. So Ryder decides to go out and use his phantasm against the monster. While that happens, his friend, his master is such a weakling, and it's weird, but he asks Eerie, do you have any thoughts? What are we gonna do? And she's like, she's so scared and everything, about it. She doesn't know what to do. And then she gets a phone call from Kitsurugi. And he says, I want you... He asks Ryder's master, is he able to transport, while he has that barrier up, can he transport that creature to a certain point? And he's like, well, within the meter. So he says, good, that's great. And he's basically telling Ryder's master, when I give the flare, tell him to put the monster at that position where the flare is. So he tells him that, and also tell Lancer that the left hand of Saber's that he's restricted with his spear is the hand she needs to use for her noble phantasm. That's not exactly what he said, but more or less what he said. Kitsurugi. So he tells him, and then not even a second thought, Lancer. He's just going like this with the yellow rod, his yellow spear, lance, and he just goes, and then that's it. That's basically what occurred there. Meanwhile, we still get this dogfight between, Berserker. Actually, Berserker gets really close to them and realizes that Saber's there. So he's on the warpath. So now that it's broken and she has her phantasm back, Saber's ready to go and fight. And she runs in to attack it. And that's when Berserker starts attacking her. And it's really just like... Meanwhile, while this is going on, a lot of shit happened in this episode. Pretty jam-packed. It was very interesting. Kalia visits... Not Kalia. What am I talking about? Kirlie. Kotomine? He visits Kalia, who's been knocked out. And at one point, he's thinking about killing him. And then he remembers the conversation he had with Gilgamesh. He decides not to. And instead he flips him over and I don't know exactly what he did. I think what he did is he put his mana inside of him. He injected him full of mana, supposedly. So, moving right along, Saber's running, trying to get towards the spot where she's ready to use her phantasm. Berserker's shooting her with that boss-looking ship. That boss-looking aircraft he has, that's black and red. And that's when Lancer decides he's going to help Saber. And he disappears, and he gets on the spaceship, the plane, the jet, and he destroys Berserker's guns and everything. But Berserker grabs another gun, and he's about to shoot Saber. And who interferes? Gilgamesh. And Gilgamesh just pounds Berserker into the water. And that's what happens. And then that's when Saber is getting ready to use her thing. And when she uses it, you see King Arthur's sword, Excalibur, coming out. And she's ready to do it. And that's when it was almost weird. And I have a weird question to ask. When she was, Saber was basically doing this, and little lights were coming out of the ground, out of the water, and everything. It was almost as if she was getting the life out of things, like they were giving her their life. But in reality, it's not that. I believe it was light coming out of the ground. And I was basically that phantasm was a miracle. And that was the whole point on that. So she's ready to, attack with it. And she's able to hit. She uses the phantasm and attacks it. Meanwhile, we see Kitsurugi going on land and everything. And boom! Just a huge fucking explosion. Before it explodes, we see Castor. And he sees this light on his face. And you know who he sees? He sees, forgot her name. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot her name. He sees, damn it. Joan of Arc. He sees Joan of Arc, and she's all ready, and she's handing her hand to him. And she's like, that was just almost as if to say he's at peace. And it just blows up, the monster's destroyed, and that's the end of that. After she does that, interesting conversation between Gilgamesh and, Ryder. Ryder cannot accept Saber. And the reason, the real reason, is because of the fact that she's taken all this burden in, and it's so painful to look at. He says it's so painful to look at that situation, and to take in all the hope and dreams of her people, and to carry that burden, and to even put more insult, it's a little girl who's taking in that burden. That was the whole point that Ryder was bringing up. And then at that point he leaves, and already we see the infatuation. See, Gilgamesh has an infatuation with Saber already. Already we see it in season 2 that he has this desire to marry her. Looks pretty interesting. Already we can see these instances of what is going to happen. We're not even at the end, and already we're seeing little bits. Kirlie, the way he was looking at Tokomi. Kiyomi. Where he was looking at him, and the way that Gilgamesh was looking at Saber. You already can tell things are going to happen pretty soon. So that's what happens, and Gilgamesh leaves, and we can already see these certain things are turning. Things are turning. Things are becoming more complicated. But awesome episode, though. That was insane. Oh, by the way, it's hot. I had to figure I'd say that. It was like 80 degrees today. Crazy. But anyway, that's what happened. It was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. This was very good. Very good. That whole thing with that thing with Berserker got me like, wow, But we'll see. I enjoyed it. Things are definitely going to get better going down the road with this show. The one thing I'm wondering, the last episode, will they show Kitsurugi walking through the town that's been destroyed, and him finding a child, and that child being Shiro? I don't think it will. I don't think that will happen, but you never know. Okay, so this has been Bankai 922. What do you guys think about Fate Zero? I think this was like, holy shit. Like, awesome. Just awesome. Beastly. Thumbs up for Berserker? Let's see. Who else gets a thumbs up in this episode? Thumbs up for Berserker. Thumbs up for Gilgamesh. And yeah, Saber 2. Saber 2. Was pretty cool. So, this has been Bankai 922. See you guys later. Oh, by the way, the final episode of Mary Nikki is up. Oh no. How much more hate will I get for that? See you guys later.